Welcome back to News Geelong as we continue our coverage of the Chinese delegation from the city of Tianjin to our city of Greater Geelong today. A program that they've, leadership type program that they're in Australia for 12 weeks, and this is into their 7th week. And joining us is Terry Demio. How are you, Terry?
Oh, very well. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
And let me say, before we get into any of the technical business of the City of Greater Geelong, Terry is the brains trust behind the great Ocean Grove Grubbers down there in the B for Best Bellarine Football League.
That's far from the truth, I'm afraid. Well, no, I'm not afraid. It's good that I'm not the brains trust.
But
I move magnets.
You move magnets, and in the right manner too. Terry, a very important visit today. Now, one thing that we found that you have already visited Tianjin.
I was fortunate enough to go with Councillor McMullen last year to Tianjin with the City of Melbourne, with the Lord Mayor at the time, John So, to visit Tianjin and some other, to Beijing and to Guangzhou last year in a study tour, if you like, for want of better terminology.
Now, Tianjin, from what we can find out, 27th largest city in the People's Republic of China, with a population of near to 12 million people. The mind boggles when you think of those numbers. What's it like over there?
Well, it is quite out of this world in terms of China. It is, you have to see it to understand it, in all honesty, and that the growth, they are accommodating growth that we simply cannot fathom. So it's a different world. Obviously, they do have some simplicity in their planning processes, given the ownership of the land and the like. So they are able to do things more quickly than perhaps others could.
So have we, as Australians, and particularly here in the city of Greater Geelong, have we got a two-way deal where we can learn from them as much as they can learn from us?
Yes, we believe so, in that certainly there's an international aspect to China, which is obviously current at the moment, I suppose, but there's an international aspect to all Chinese business. Clearly, they have a domestic market which is a gigantic economic beast in its own right, but from an international perspective, China continues to explore opportunities, and from a manufacturing perspective, we do think it's not beyond the realms to have Chinese interests in a manufacturing sense in Geelong in due course.
Now, during your presentation this morning, you pointed out with our backdrop here, which is a magnificent development of Armstrong's Creek, which is certainly huge news in our city of Greater Geelong. But you mentioned that potential over in Tianjin, this would be about a month's work.
Well, they grow very quickly, so 60,000 people is not a significant addition to that city. Clearly, it's this growth corridor is the largest contiguous growth corridor in Australia. So it's our 23 million national population compared to 12 of Tianjin, and 23rd rated city in the. It all seems to drop into perspective then, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And Terry, the other thing you mentioned is the waterfront development, and Tianjin is a port city, I understand, over in China. So the waterfront development that we've had here in Geelong, which started out as state funded and, as you've rightfully said, is now very much private enterprise driven, is a significant thing for the people from Tianjin to learn from.
Well, Tianjin's port's very much an industrial port. So they are one of the largest ports in terms of throughput in the world. So they don't have our beautiful northern aspect and our residential and opportunities for events on their waterfront. So it's certainly a different beast to our waterfront. Clearly we have a port in its own right, and we've spent some time with their director of the port, but the waterfront itself is something which we boast, which Tianjin doesn't.
Well, we're on a local note. How's the Armstrong's Creek development coming along?
It's progressing well. There's two major developers consortiums progressing the Armstrong Creek East development, and one progressing the Northeast Employment Precinct as well. So we are progressing well. There's some hurdles to work through in terms of final approval of those amendments to the planning scheme, but it is progressing well.
Progressing well at the City of Greater Geelong, and we thank Terry Demio for his discussion with us this morning. The visit from Tianjin from the Chinese delegation. Yes, they're over here to learn something from us in the city of Greater Geelong, and Armstrong's Creek is certainly one of the significant future developments of our great city. As we go to a break on News Geelong.